and those viewers can join this growing community and post either tips and tricks, or they can post requests, which I can go research, and then I'll share with the rest of you. Okay, on to the intro. Where's the intro? There we go. It says Blender Python Snow script. Now, yeah, when I did this yesterday, I forgot to turn off the intro, so I'm gonna make sure I turn it off right now. There we go. By the way, I'm live streaming on YouTube, BitChute, and Odyssey. I can't log into Rumble for some reason, so yeah, Rumble fixed that issue. Yeah. Otherwise, so let's continue here. So as you can see here, I have a bunch of this is just an animation of the snow. It just falls down here, you see. So I'll show you how to create this. This is using the model viewer. However, based on some statistics, it seems that you guys do like these tutorials, but you want a little bit more fine control, which is perfectly fine. So this is probably going to be the last tutorial which I do using the model-viewer. Instead, we'll create our own custom one, which we use 3JS, because 3JS is very popular. So that's actually, I like to do that as well, because it also satisfies my urge for programming. And I know you guys don't like programming, but we can just create one time and that's it. All right, so if you're not following with this particular tutorial, I'm using Blender 5.0, but this tutorial should work in any of the 4 series, especially 4.5, which is a long-term support release. And the model-viewer, it's just like the name says, it's a viewer. It's based on actually 3JS. I'll explain that in a future tutorial, actually the next week's tutorial. And so you learn how to animate in Blender and then export it as a GLB, that's a binary version of GLTF, and view it very quickly. The reason I've been showing you guys the model-viewer is because it's pretty easy. There's no code to mark around with. All right, so we're going to use the particle system in Blender, and then I'll show you how to tweak it, because sometimes some of the features in Blender, you cannot export them, for example, the GLTF, or something gets lost. So I'll show you how, for lighting, we're going to make it very easy. We're going to use one of the EXR images. One of the problems I'm also having with the model-viewer is that it does not like any EXR images, which they even moderately complex. So that's another reason I'm just going to be using 3JS instead, because 3JS handles them perfectly. So that will help you guys, especially because HDR images are pretty big. So having compressed to EXR is much better. All right. And then if you're impatient, I have the code snippet here. You can just grab it, copy paste it into the Blender scripting workspace. I'll show you all that, how to do as well. And it run on the command line, basically just Blender, then -B for the background, -P for the Python, and then the name of your Python script, and that's it. Now, depending on how much you put in your Python script, you might have to you can put the output right on the command line as well as shown here, or you can simply, I prefer put everything in the Python file. I'll show you how to do that as well. Okay, so yeah, so this explains I've already actually explained all of that. We're also going to use the PBR, that's the why do I keep on forgetting that? The material, basically just going to be to assign to a snowflake and handle the objects. And then these are the settings for the Principled BSDF material, and we're gonna you set the metallic value to, you can fool around with this value depending on how much, what color you want. So as you can see here, because snow is white, the problem with that is if you have like a white background or light background, doesn't come out so well, as you can see in my animation. So before I made it actually gold, but gold is kind of it doesn't snow gold, it's unrealistic. So it's better to give it like maybe a grayish color just to make it stand out, maybe some transparency as well, just to make it stand out. Or maybe I should have given a background as well. Well, we'll take care of that. I'll show you that later. And then to display it on the web, here's the code. This is just HTML code using the CDN. CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. That way you don't have to host all the stuff yourself. Now, explain here the HDR, KTX, and all this. So the good thing about this is this will make more sense in future tutorials when I'm actually able to use more than just the HDR. I'll be able to use EXR, as I said, for the KTX and KTX2. These are images which are GPU friendly, so they're further compressed than this one. So I'll show you how to create this in upcoming tutorials as well. And then you can read about this. I've explained this several times, but because we're not going to be using them today, I'm just going to zip right through them. Okay, so basically, if you don't know what a HDR image is, it's a rectangular. You can make it as a JPEG or PNG, but the problem with using these formats is they don't hold as much information as, for example, EXR or HDR format as well. So that's why there are specific formats for that, especially for lighting. Okay, so here's the scripting workspace. I'm not gonna show you guys this right now because I said I'm gonna do it again, so I don't want to replicate the things I'm doing. I'll explain this. So if you guys are watching this from the podcast, you understand what I'm doing. So this is live, especially for lighting, as you can hear that. So I'm going to stop it right there. That's fine, and let's get started. So I'm going to delete these two here because we're going to recreate them. And this is the courtyard HDR image I showed you guys. I just grabbed this from this is default in Blender, at least 4.5 and 5.0. So that I just grabbed it from there, and that's one we're using. So if you don't know how I got this was achieved from. I showed you how to grab this from the Blender. When you install Blender, it comes with HDR images. So they are in EXR format. So I converted to HDR using GIMP. The reason I did that was so that I said that's the format that Modo-Viewer displays well. But I said that won't matter. This is the last tutorial we're going to be using this format. I said we'll just use 3JS going forward, or maybe another application. Okay, so I'm going to show you both of these files. Open up in the text editor. By the way, some of you guys have requested that I should use actually an IDE. So I'm just using a simple text editor, and I'm hearing you. So probably in upcoming very soon you guys will see I'll be using most likely will be Guinea as the preferred IDE, so you guys will see all this code and everything properly. Alright, so let's go back here. So let's show you the HTML file first. Obviously I'm zooming here a little bit. There's a doc type. In the head section I put a title, just low poly animated snow, and you see here this script, it's a type module. And you see it's from unpark.com. That's the CDN, that's Content Delivery Network, and you see it's the Modo-View. I'm using the minified version. The styling here, I'm not going to talk about that because that's subjective. You style it any way you want. Here in the body section, I put an H1. It just says low poly animated snow model, wrapped in H1 tags. That's heading. And then here's the Modo-Viewer tag. See, the source is going to be low poly animated snow.glb. That's the GLTF file. The B stands for the binary format. The alt tag is low poly animated snow. So if you don't know what alt does, meaning that if it can't load the source, instead of just leaving some ugly or some weird looking graphic, it will just put this low poly. So meaning that that's where it's supposed to go. And then these are the attributes: auto-rotate, space, camera-control, space, AR, then space, shadow-intensity, I set it to 1, and then environmental-image, I set it to the courtyard.hdr. And then I put animation-name equals animation. So this is by default. Even if you name your animations, you always have to put this for GLTF. You have to put animation -name. I guess that's the default. It puts that as the parent one. And then when I put autoplay, meaning that they'll play automatically. They'll start playing automatically. So that's what that's for. obviously close off the model-viewer, and then the body tag and the HTML. That's HTML. I'm going to save this. And then here is the Python code. We import the Blender Python module. We import math utilities because we're going to use a color and Euler. You'll see that later in the code. The math. This is most likely used for radians because Blender uses radians. So I want to use something more easy. I want to put like say 90 degrees, right? I don't want to have to go it's 0 point whatever it is in radians, right? So that's why I import the math. And import OS. The reason I import OS and system is because I want to save the generated blend file and the generated GLB file in the same path as the Python file. So that's why I do that. Now, this is also because there was a time where the Fedora version of Blender was a little bit lacking some features. So I used the Flatpak version, and because Flatpak is sandboxed, I had to find a way in order to still be able to do what I wanted. So that's why you see this is pretty complicated here. But the Blender, the Python, the Fedora version has resolved all those issues, at least in Fedora 43. So I don't need that anymore. So I can probably get rid of probably one or both, but I leave it for now because you guys benefit. So here I put the other variables like the path, scale, location. This will be for the animations. And then we have the snow color. This is the color. This is obviously white. You can fool around with this color, except maybe I think I should have made it a little bit grayish or something as well. And then we have a function. I have a function here which will clear the scene. Basically grabs everything and deletes everything, because by default Blender comes with at least in Blender 5.0 it comes with a default cube, a light, and what's the other one it comes with? Camera. It comes with a camera, so I don't need any of those things, because remember I'm exporting them, and they probably won't export well into a GLB file. Now, if I wanted to maybe view this and maybe export maybe a picture or something, then I would still need a camera at least minimum and some light. But I'm saying I'm going to use the HDR, so I don't need those. Okay, so then to create the material, am I actually using the right function? I hope I am. I know it says gold here. It should actually say snow color. Hopefully, this code looks like it's wrong. You know what? This code is actually the wrong color. Yeah, this is wrong. Track, flake. Oh, okay, this is correct. So I'll explain to you what happened. Yeah, because it was gold actually before. Okay, yeah, so this is the correct one. Something was going on, so it was actually gold. I don't know why it was gold. I think maybe because I use all the code as a template to create future tutorials, so I think that's why this should have just said snow, but that's fine. So what happens here is, what I found was, if you remember I told you is that, for example, we're going to use the particle system. The problem is it cannot be exported as a GLTF file. So what I need to do is I need to bake those materials. So that's why if you notice the snow, I don't have a whole lot of snow. That's why it's because I don't want this to take too long and slow down the CPU or GPU probably. Okay, so that's why I decided to bake it and make less of the snow instead of more. But if you want to make more, you can. So this basically will it's just light. It's just a color such as base color. It's just white. This is basically white. 1 1 1. You saw that earlier. And the alpha is 1 because there's no alpha transparency here. I set the metallic value to 0 because I want it to be a little glossy, and the roughness is set to 0.1, and you can see all the settings for the IOR and the alpha. You see I set the alpha state to 0.6 because snow usually is, especially when it turns into ice, it's a little bit, it has some transparency. That's why I did that. And the method I set to blend, and we're using the BSDF to output to the surface output here, and then we just return the material. Then we need to bake it, and I explain why you need to bake it, because the particle system cannot be exported into a GLTF file. So this is what we did here. This code here, what did I say again? Bakes it. So you see, we get the emitter, we get all the particle systems. I'll show you how that is set up. And then for each of the items, the particles, we're going to bake them. Now, because we're doing individual, as you can see here, I'm sure there's a faster way to do this, but I wanted to make it as simple so you guys can follow along. Put these just a bunch of for loops here, and we go through all of them, the location, where it's rotated, and just bake it. So, and then after that, we insert the keyframes, because remember the particle system also has that as well. And then so that's all it does, because each of those individual snow pieces needs to be animated. So this is the one where we actually generate the although it says here gold material. It was gold before. I don't know why gold. I don't know what I was thinking. So I should, what I should do? I should actually, instead of calling it gold, I should have. I think what I should do, I should just call it create material. That will make more sense. It should be maybe like create color material. That will be an easier way to use it as a template going forward. And you see, so we use the emitter, and the emitter is this where the rotation, we use Euler, you see radians, so this is 90 degrees. And then what is it here? So we use the icospheres and we divide them, and we use we call the material flake mesh, that one the snow emitter, and then the flake handle. And you see here, this one's going to be a cylinder, so of an icosphere. And then as you can see, we assign the material, it's all going to be white, simple enough. And then we collect them, and so we collect all of them here and put them in something. So in this case, it looks like a plane type thing, which is perfectly fine. And then here we have we create our emitter, which will be the particle system, and the count is 200. Now be careful with this, because if you look at any if you find any tutorials online, they'll tell you, oh, put something like 10,000, 20,000. I can guarantee you that is fine. However, if you try to bake 20,000 objects, you're gonna bring your system to a crawl, right? So just be aware of that. So that's why I set it down to 200, which is perfectly fine. For some of you, especially on your laptop, you might even have to set this lower than 200, but 200 should be enough. And then here the frames are 1 to 1, starts at 1, it ends at 100. Lifetime is 150. So I'll explain to you what this means. What this means is that it goes to 1 to 100 and then it stops. So for example, when snow falls down, it doesn't simply just fall and disappear, right? It falls and then it stops, right? It falls down loosely and then it doesn't disappear right away. So that's why there's this lifetime. You see, it's after. So the animation ends, but then it will still be visible up to 150. So that gives it a more realistic snow. Sorry, I was going to say snow-like. Obviously, it's snow. It makes it more realistic. And then the emit form is phase. The physics type is Newton. So if you guys don't know what that means, it means like it's gravity, right? It falls down, right? So it's falling down. It's not falling up. It's not blowing all over the place. Even if I add wind or whatever, the thing is still gonna go. It's gravity is pulling it down. So that's why I chose Newton for the physics type. And then emit random, that's set to true, because you don't want them all in the same place or doing the same thing. They should be, one should be here falling weirdly, so that's why it's there. And then we have the normal factor set to 0, factor random 0.5, and the weight 0.1. And then there's more settings. It's a collection, yes, flake collection, use collection, pick random, true. And the particle size is 1.0. I should probably make this a little bit bigger. I should actually make this bigger, but I'll leave it there for now. I think it's good enough. Render type is collection, factor random 0.5, and tangent is 0, 0. And then this part here for the HDR and camera light, you guys have seen this before, but I'll go very quickly. So we use the world scene, and we just remove the default nodes, and then we can add our nodes here. And then if we have a path to our HDR image, you can also put it there. But I'm just going to use a color. So that's it here. This part is actually no need because it's not exported. This is more for Blender. inside Blender, and then the camera setup. Again, the camera is not needed. This is more if you want to maybe take a screenshot or something, you want to see what it actually looks like. That's why you do that. And then same with the light. I'm not going to dwell too much on this because I said in this one we don't care about those three. As long as we can see them in Blender, make sure they're looking okay, we're good. And the bake, you see this function will bake it, and then to save it, this, remember our scene starts from 1, it goes to 150, and yeah, so we save the blend file, and then the output for the GLTF is right here. So the problem is, remember, there's going to be 200 of those snow pieces, so we need to select all of them. And then after we do that, we are able to export our GLTF. You see the export format is GLB. That's the binary one. Export true, export Y up, set to true, export animation set true, use selection true, and export animation mode in ALA track. So I need to do this part here because I wanted to export the baked stuff inside the inside our GLTF. If I don't do this, it will not do that. So this is what I found works, at least in Blender 5.0. And then for execution, our main function with this one, generate underscore animated underscore snow. So with that, let's actually go test this out now. I'm going to leave this open because I might come back here to maybe to make the particles bigger. We'll check it out. If you remember, where was I here? The particle size, yeah, particle size here. See, it says 1.0. I might change that to regenerate it. I'll see. We'll check it out. So I'm going to minimize this for now and go just type Blender on the command line space -B for background, space hyphen capital P. That's for Python. The name of the file, you see it's this one, low hyphen poly hyphen animated hyphen snow dot py. And as you can see here, I'm going to zoom out. I'm using Blender 5.0.1. And you notice, oh, excuse, that hurt. My elbow right at the end of the table. So you notice it's taking a little bit longer than normal. That's because it has to bake that stuff, right? So that's what I was trying to say, is that if you have 10,000 or 20,000, it's going to take a while. So even this one only has 200. So the reason it's taking a while is because it has to bake all 200 of those pieces. So it didn't take too long. So it didn't take too long, but I'm saying you can imagine, as I said again, if you have, remember, I only have 200. So if you have 2,000, it's going to take obviously a little bit longer. And if you have 20,000 or more, it's going to take a super long time. So you created the blend file, and now we have our GLB file. So I am going to open up this in Blender. Hopefully OBS doesn't take up too much resources, and it should be fine. Yeah, so here we go. Okay, so you might not see it here until I hit play. Where is the play button here? So let me actually, because it's color, so I'll give it some, there we go. So that's a color here. So I went to the default shading is this one, which is solid. The problem with solid is obviously because it doesn't have any textures or anything. Now it's supposed to be fast, so you can maneuver everything, but sometimes you cannot see your items or your models. In this case, I had to go to the shading. I had to change it to shading so that you're able to see it. So now if I hit play, yeah, so you can see what's happening there. It appears again, like that, and so forth and so forth. Okay, so let me pause that. Now, so I'll show you the settings when we come back. So I want to tell you what you do is you go to the scripting tab. Here's the scripting tab, and then you click new, and then you paste your code in here, and then you hit the run button. You just click this run button, and then it will run the script for you, and everything will show up here. And again, by default, you see it uses the solid. So if you go to the viewport shading, change it to material preview instead, then you see you'll be able to see your model or whatever else you're most likely this is a 3D, so yeah, your model, whether it's a 2D model, 3D model, doesn't matter. All annotations. So you can also go to shading. For example, I'm going to pick one of them. It's a random one. You can see it's just white. So if you zoom in here, oh, come on. I'll just drag it. Okay, you can see the material maybe was set to 0. The roughness is set to 0.1. And let me actually zoom in even more here. You can, yeah, there we go. So I think I might actually increase this size, make it bigger. You see the IOR set to 1.3.10, and the alpha is set to 0.6, right? So you can obviously change this, for example. Oh, there we go. So you see, if I set the alpha to that, or that to 1, so it was 0.6, that's fine. I'll leave it there. Now let's go back to the layout here. I'm gonna squeeze this up a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. Perfect. Now if you remember our particle, no, didn't use any modifier, particles. You see particles here? I thought I used, no, it wasn't particles. Okay, which one was it? Physics, constraints, data, material. Is it, where is our particle system? I might have to actually click it. Okay, I thought it was, pretty sure it's particle. Synapse physics, snowflake 1. Okay, yeah, this is the thing with the small screens. Oh, emitter, this was the other one, the emitter. I have to click on the emitter. The emitter is right here, so under particle. So there's an emitter. This is the one I was looking for here, the emitter. Yeah, so yeah, so here's an emitter. So you can see the number is set to 200, and the seed 0, etc., etc. So remember all this stuff I showed you there. 1 to 100. The lifetime is set to 150. So some with other settings in here. Yeah, so you can see we set the emit from to faces, and yeah, so you can add this to your Python script depending on what you do want. You can see the random values we set. Physics, we set it to Newtonian. There's other ones like is none, keyed, bold, and fluid. And what else? The other one? Children, none. And to see. Oh yeah, here in gravity for the emitter. Find field weights. You can change those values. We also want to change the size. I'm looking for that one. Textures, animation, no. Custom, that's not it. Is it source? You guys are probably seeing this and I cannot see it. Okay, so let me, I wish there was a search. What are we looking for here? We're looking for, where was it? Did I just lose it? Oh, particle size, this one, particle size. So I'm hoping it's particle size, yeah, it's called factor, random, tangent factor. I'm not seeing any of those here. Oh, you can also bake from here. Okay, so I'm wondering if this rotation, physics, I know it's on the, I know it can be on the custom, it's not there. No textures. Force field settings, not here. Field weights? No, it's not on the field weights. Children, nope. Report display, render, physics. Oh, is it this mass? No, oh, that's mass. That's to do with the Newtonian, so that's not it. I know it's under rotation. I don't know where it is. They must save it somewhere else, unless I cannot get to it. It's definitely, it should be here. It makes sense because it's part of the. Oh, it says particle settings. Yeah, so I can't see it here. Maybe it's under a different name. I cannot figure where in the world it's gonna be. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's under no particles, physics, strains, data. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but that's all. I can't remember where it is. I said that sometimes I do the stories a month before, and obviously yeah. Anywho, I would like to. So if I pick, let me pick one of these. It's just an icosphere. I'm wondering if we can set it here under the objects scale. No, I could obviously scale it here, but I don't want to do that. That's what you're going to bug me. Oh yeah, here's the world. I was saying, you see, you can pick an environmental texture and then pick what type of texture, because this is the same thing as in the shading. You can simply change it to your HDR image. But I said I'd rather do that manually, not here. So that's the animation. Here we go. As you can see it, you see it stops at 150, but then it still stays down there. That's what we want. Okay, so enough for Blender here. I showed you the shading and everything. So let's close this. So remember, it also created this GLB file. So we're going to yeah. So this, I don't know why that came back up. All right, so I'm gonna use the Python. Let me clear this. You need a web server because of the module, the CDN. So I'm just gonna use Python. You can use any, like Apache, Nginx, PHP, anything like that. That's perfectly fine. Server, I'm going to do. I'm thinking, what port number should I use here? You know, I'll just use 8000. Is it 8080? I'll use 8080. Oops, did I spell that wrong? HTTP. Oh, I forgot. -m. Okay, so 0000 means that you can use localhost or the IP address of this particular workstation, or 127.0.0.1. So the good thing about 0.0.0, meaning that on anything on the network, whether it's the phone, tablet, laptop, or another workstation, you can simply you'll be able to view it as well. So that's why I do like 0.0.0.0.0. Okay, so let's open up a web browser here. I'm going to use Chromium browser, and I'll simply go to. I'll just put localhost and I'll use 8080. Okay, then I'll click the snow animation, and you can see that's it right there. Okay, now because it's also rotating, so it keeps on rotating by itself as well. So obviously you can also rotate it, so you can see I can also rotate it. I can zoom in and out. You see that I can do that as well. So that's what I'm saying. I think a better way to have done this would be to have make them different sizes. Maybe use another like a modifier to make them all different sizes, because right now they're all the same, which is fine. But I'm saying is that it doesn't. Snow is not always the same size. You know, some of them stick together a little bit bigger, and they also. Can I zoom in a bit more? Yeah, this look more like balls. They're perfectly shaped balls, but from far away you won't be able to see. And the reason, now you might say, wait a minute, if you use the white color, why does it look like this? Remember, it's because I'm also using. Oh wait. Oh, whoa, what happened there? I also. Whoa, something is wrong here. I just realized it's not using my my map. My courtyard. It's not using this courtyard. It's not using it. So what's going on there? Let's take a look at here. environmental image, courtyard.hdr. I don't know why it's not using it. Yeah, I don't know why it's not using it. Yeah, that is weird. I don't know why it's not using it. Is I spelled it right correctly, courtyard.hdr. I don't know why it's not using this courtyard.hdr. So that's one of the reasons I said also we use so this courtyard, you know, it's where it has a dog there. I can rotate around it. I don't know why it's not using it. That's kind of a shame. Yeah, that's kind of weird. So that's another reason why I said this is the last time I'm going to be using this model-viewer. Next time we'll just use Three.js instead. All right, so I'll just let this play. It's clearly using some lighting for, oh, you know what, I wonder if it's actually using the environmental texture, but it's for each individual one. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you zoom in, if I could zoom in even more, then I would see the environmental texture in each of this, the so-called snowballs. Let me see if I can actually, I've zoomed in as much as possible. Yeah, that's what it's doing. So it used the environmental texture in, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Let's do that again. Yeah, so that's what it did. So each environmental texture, it actually used it for literally each individual one. Okay, so that's kind of weird, but I think what I should have done, I should maybe have put a plane here, the transparent plane or something. That would have been better. But okay, that's it. Let's finish this up. So I have some book courses and one-on-one tutorials. For example, I have a learning Python book. If you're interested in learning Python, it's available on Amazon. The link in the description. I also have another book called Mastering Blender Python. But are you doing a voiceover? Yes, I am. Oh, I didn't. Sorry about that. IDO Edit 7. Yes. Let me actually put it. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So IDO Edit 7 is asking, hey bro, I don't have a headphone. By the way, are you doing a voiceover? So I replied, yes, I am. Obviously, you guys can hear me. The microphone is on. Right, it is. Okay, so where was that? Yeah, so this Mastering Blender Python API, it's I created it based on Blender 4.3 and 4.4 in 2025. So because Blender 5.0 does break something, so if anything is broken, let me know, and then I will I can maybe do a future tutorial and resolve that. So one of the reasons I haven't updated the book for Blender 5.0 because Blender 5.0 is still new, and I'm trying to do some off screen, of course, some Blender grease pencil tutorials, and I wanna then that book will come out later this year. Oh, great to, so this person is saying they're from India. Great to have you join the live stream and chat. Okay, great for that. So that book is also, this Mastering Blender Python book is also on Amazon. I also have some courses. I have the Learning Python course available on jamboshop.com, and it's no subscription. It's you just pay a one-time fee, and the course is there for you. So again, if you have any questions, you can contact me and I'll be able to answer them. And then I also offer one-on-one Python tutorials, any other programming language. You can contact me, including Blender Python. Contact me on jambo.com/contact. Okay, so some final notes. Basically, you export as a GLB for the easiest web use. You can convert your EXR images to KTX. That would be actually for the best for performance. I said we'll do that in future tutorials. The reason I didn't do that because obviously this this model-viewer doesn't support it. It only supports HDR properly. So now when I move over to Three.js, we'll be able to do things like that easily. And then obviously with this method we just did here today, the Blender script is headless with an example for the command below for this particular tutorial. Well, it's your first time on my feed, haha. I was just scrolling and see someone using Blender, so I was curious. Oh, fantastic. Thanks again for joining the live chat. All right, so I also have some other recommended resources. I'm going to zip through this very quickly. I live in a rural area. There's no internet. The cellular service is sporadic, so I use SpaceX Starlink residential service. This is my referral link. If you're thinking of getting this service, please use my referral link. That's one way you can help out this channel. I also have this, it's winter here. I have this Honeywell HeatBud personal ceramic heater. It's a space heater. I do have it right here, as you can see. It saved me hundreds of dollars in heating costs. You can pick it up on Amazon. This is my affiliate link with no extra cost to you. I have this algorithmic serpent. It's my first novelette. It's on Amazon. You can pick it up. This is the paperback version. There's also an ebook version if you're interested in psychological thrillers. It's about an AI scientist who creates an AI system, loses his mind, and he has to regain control of his mind and the AI system. And finally, I have this recession business blueprint. It'll help you. It's a guide to help you start a business during a recession. Right now, in a recession, it's the best time to start a business. I started my business in 2009 during a recession. I didn't even know it was a recession. So something like this, I wish existed back then. So it has about 130 pages. I'm not. That's excluding the about section, the table of contents. So there are tables, a lot of text, and if you have any questions, I'll be here to help you. If you want to know more about me, I have a blog on ojambo.com for every article I write. I'm a freelance programmer, the fancy name software engineer, web developer, etc. I'm an author. Obviously, my book's on Amazon. The link is also in the description. If you need support, ojamboservice.com for consultations. The link is also in the description. And if you're ready to learn, ojamboshop.com for the online courses. The link is also in the description. If you want to contact me, you can leave comments. This comment section ends after about 10 days after the article goes live. So be sure to make it based on obviously the topic, whether it's Blender or Snow. That'd be perfect. But the best way to contact me is use the contact forms of ojambo.com/contact, ojamboservices.com/contact, and ojamboshop.com/contact. And if you want to follow me, the channels are Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. Okay, right now I'm going to go to the outro and scroll back up here. So if you want to see what's upcoming, I have some exciting things upcoming, but we have to go through a few things first. So the first one is, we just finished this one today. You see that's 2 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow we're building an interactive 3D puzzle. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's very little coding. You heard me. In fact, there's no coding. They may say how. Well, I'll show you that tomorrow. There's no coding. In fact, it's probably all you have to do is 8 words. That's it. So I'll show you that tomorrow. And then you have your you have the puzzle, the HTML5 puzzle, 3D puzzle. Yes, tomorrow we'll do that tomorrow. And then we'll do some AI stuff, and then we're going to deploy Nextcloud using Podman Desktop. So we don't have to, how I do all this stuff on the command line. So some of you, including my own customers, have told me they don't want to do that. So I will show you how to do everything in Podman Desktop. Okay. And then after, in about a week's time from now, exactly a week from now, we have another Blender tutorial. And that one, this one I think will be a fun tutorial for you guys. I'll show you how to create bonds or bond amateurs. That's most likely geared towards game development, but you can use it for other things as well. And I'll show you again using the Blender Python API. This, surprisingly enough, will actually be simpler tutorial than the Blender stuff I've been doing lately. And we'll also animate it. It's actually much more simpler, and it's more. What I mean is the concepts you learn, you'll be able to do them even in older versions of Blender. So this is the type of stuff I want to put in the upcoming book as well. Okay, now with that said, I'm going to remind you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because the more people subscribe, the more the algorithm sends out to more people. Those people can join this growing community, post their requests or tips and tricks that I can share with everybody. Thanks to everybody who subscribed so far this month. We reached a milestone. We'll do another celebration soon when the tech ranks hits 100. Okay. All right, so why did I remove that? I should actually keep it there. Thanks for joining the live stream and live chat. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And I should also say Happy New Year. There we go. Seriously? Joining? Spelling mistakes. There we go. Okay, thanks again. Ido Edit says, what you're doing is cool. Don't let it die. Wish you all the best. I gotta go sleep now. Bye. Okay, bye. I don't know if you actually got my message. Alright, so so he also said, well, it's your first time on my feed, haha. I was just scrolling and see someone using Blender, so just curious. Okay, perfect. So that works out. All right, guys. Let me check the other live streams. BitChute. I didn't even open up the Odyssey one. That seems to be okay. I wasn't able to go to Rumble today. Hopefully they fix that issue and I'll be able to